Hello friends, welcome to KT Research Guidance Bureau. In previous session, I gave you the brief idea about formulation of the problem. In this session, we are going to discuss research process. Plus, I will give you the brief idea about objectives of the research as well as review of literature. So, let us begin with research process. Now, keep in mind there is no thumb rule about research process. As per your research topic, as per the scope of the research, you can divide your research process in 6 steps, 7 steps or 8 steps. It depends on you. But I would like to give you general steps of the research. First and foremost is objectives of the study. In previous session, I gave you the idea about formulation of the problem. Then you feel that why I have to design objectives of the study. See, your problem formulation is always based on objectives of the study, and you have to manage your problem formulation and objectives of the study in the same direction. How to design, what is the importance, that we are going to learn later on. Now, second step is review of literature. This is also compulsory part for your research work. You have to review the past literature, that also we are going to discuss. Now, the third step is your formulation of hypothesis. Keep in mind, formulation of hypothesis is not a compulsory part. If you want to skip, you can. In descriptive research, you can't design any hypothesis. Otherwise, you may not be able to give the true picture. So, formulation of hypothesis is not compulsory, but it is beneficial. So, I will give you the idea in another session. Now, the next step is research design. You have to design your research work. You have to plan out your schedule. That also we are going to learn afterwards. Then the another step is data analysis and testing of hypothesis. First, you decided your subject, objectives. You review the literature. Then you design your research work. As per your objectives of the research, you have to collect the data. First, collect secondary data and then come to primary data. So, without secondary data, please don't try to collect primary data. Why? Because you will not get any idea about your subject. So, it is my humble request to you that before entering into the primary data, collect secondary data. You collected the secondary data. Afterwards, you have to analyze the data. At that time, if you have formulated the hypothesis, you have to test your hypothesis. If you have not formulated the hypothesis, then you can skip testing of hypothesis. And last step is interpretation and report writing. You have to interpret your data. As you analyze the data, you can get so many things. Then you have to interpret it, and then you have to write your report. So, these are the stages of your research work, and as per your research work, you have to decide the steps. Now, this is the brief idea about research process. Now, let's try to understand objectives of the research. Research objectives describe what the researcher wants to achieve from the study. So, when you design your objective, that time it should be smart. Means specify your objective. You want to do this research work for this only. So, that is specification. Specify your objectives. Then your objectives must be measurable. If you are unable to measure, then you may not be able to give your findings and conclusions very nicely. Suppose you want to measure the income of the person, then you can measure in rupees, in another currency also. So, it must be measurable. Then it must be achievable. Achievable means if your scope is very wide, then it may possible that middle of the way you may have to drop your research study. So, achievable, that time consider time and cost also. If it is too costly, then you may not be able to complete your task. If it is too much time consuming, then also you may not be able to complete your task. So, please, at that time it must be achievable. Then your objectives must be realistic. If it is fantasy, then nobody will, that is story. But our work is research work, so it must be realistic. This much you have to keep in mind. Now, let's try to understand types of research objectives. First is primary objective, means this is specific objective. For that only you are going to conduct your research work, that is your primary objective. Second type is secondary objective. Many people consider it as a general objective. Now, let's try to understand with a simple example. Suppose you want to check that with the help of bank loan, the living standard of the person is increasing or not. That is your primary objective. And afterwards, you want to check that procedure is lengthy, then cooperation of banker, these are the secondary objectives. So, first design your main objective and then subsidiary, or you can say general or secondary objectives, that you can say. Third one is immediate objective. Immediate objective means you want to apply that thing. I gave you one example when we discussed types of research, applied research. You want to apply that solution, that is applied objective. And last one is ultimate objective. What is the ultimate last objective of your research work? Suppose PhD students, their ultimate objective is to get the degree. So, this way you can classify your research objective. Now, let's try to understand importance of objectives. First and foremost is, if you have no objective, then your research work is meaningless and useless. So, you want to make your research work meaningful and valuable. That time you have to specify your objectives. Many times in our daily life we do so many activities without any objective. That time, that activities have no value. But when we do our research work, that time we have something in our mind. It must be meaningful. Second thing is, your research objectives gives you the guideline how to conduct your research work. Means if your objectives are very clear, then easily you can understand how I can proceed. Third thing is, if you want to narrow down your subject, means what? Suppose you want to check the benefits of any government scheme, whether that scheme is beneficial or not. You want to check this one for a particular scheme. For that one, it is applicable in India. But if you consider our country, then it takes too much time. But what is your objective? This scheme is good or not? For that, what you can do? You can narrow down it. See, first country, then state, and then one village or one city. Even you can consider 2-3 villages also, and you can narrow down it. So as per your objective, you can narrow down your research topic. That is more valuable. Next thing is, as per your objectives, you can decide your research methodology. Now, I gave you this example for the government loan. Now, for this one, first of all, you have to collect secondary data. Year by year, it is increasing or not? How many beneficiaries have taken this loan? And then you have to come to the primary data. Means you have to collect both types of data, secondary data as well as primary data. Means you can design your research methodology. For designing the research methodology, objectives play a great role. Next one is, if you want to formulate the hypothesis, then also it is useful. So, as per your objectives, you can formulate the hypothesis. In previous example, suppose this is the government scheme. You believe that this scheme is beneficial for the public. Then first your hypothesis is null hypothesis, it is beneficial for the people. Then alternative, not beneficial for the people. Now you can test it. If people are also having the same opinion, then in your conclusion you can say like that. So formulation of the hypothesis is always based on objectives of the study. Then if you want to summarize the previous research work, then you can summarize it, and then you can design your objectives. They are always beneficial to you as well as to the others. Means what they have done. If your subject, your objective is also the same, then avoid it. If there is something new, then you can select that subject. Means for the selection of the subject, it is useful. Then another thing is, it saves your time. If your objectives are very clear, then you know which information is necessary for you. So when you will try to collect the data, that time you will not collect unnecessary information. This way you can save your time. Otherwise, what will happen? You collect every types of information, and you believe that next time I have not to come. So I will collect each and every data, and afterwards it is difficult for you to judge whether it is useful or not, or it takes too much time for classification. So it saves your time, and it gives you the idea about your process. So how to conduct your work, which one is the first step, which one is the second step, and how to conduct our research work so that you can complete your research work in time. So this is the brief idea about objectives of the research. Now we will try to understand literature review. Say in PhD, literature review is compulsory. It is available in books, magazines, periodicals, government publication, many voluntary organizations, they also publish this type of data, and PhD theses are also available. From that you can get this review. Now when you review the literature, that time what you have to keep in mind: first, title of that subject; second, objectives of the study; third, research methodology, which method he or she applied; fourth one, scope of the study; types of data; main findings or major findings and conclusions. This much obviously you have to study so that you can understand your topic in a better manner. So for the selection of the subject, review of literature plays a great role. When you review the literature, you can get the idea that this subject is overdone or which area is left in this subject. If it is overdone, then skip it. If in any subject, suppose 12 points are there and majority of the researcher highlighted only 8 points, then you can consider next 4 points also. This way you can do your research work. So it helps to select your subject. Then you can summarize the information and then you can judge the impression. And mainly, critically also you can evaluate. So which area is left? What is the gap between past situation, present situation, and how to bridge it? So it is helpful for this also. So review of literature is compulsory for PhD. So this much information you have to keep in mind when you do your review and when you select your objectives of the study. I hope you like the session and your suggestions are always welcome.